Good morning, everybody. This is Allie. I've got my coffee and I've got my incubators and it's the first 24 hours of hatching this batch of shipped eggs that I received. So I'm building up my stock still. So I've received a lot of amazing hatching eggs from breeders who I really adore and respect. This batch, I figured I was just moving them from the incubator that they're coming out of to a secondary incubator so I can look everybody over and the temperature is going to be right where it needs to be before I pop everyone in a brooder. So I figured I would take you guys along, especially those of you who are new, and kind of show you what the first 24-hour baby situation might look like. There's a lot going right. There's a couple things going wrong. If you have any questions, you can let me know. But this is just a very realistic view for people who maybe haven't done this before. If you're going to be hatching out with kids, what to expect, what to prepare them for, and what some of these genetics look like when we're dealing with colors. So this batch is a small batch, and when I placed my order, I ordered White Wing Pharaoh, which is Pharaoh with one copy of dotted white gene. I also ordered Egyptians, which is this little baby right here. I'll tell you how you can tell them apart. And then also Fab Fee. So these are all wild type base, except these little yellow ones, and I'll explain to you why. But my order consisted of all wild type base with 2 diluters on this variety right here, the Fab Fee and the Egyptian. They're figuring out what toes are right now. So a couple things that I wanted to mention with hatching out colors is sometimes you get ones that you don't expect. So this little baby right here is so sweet. I was expecting to get a few of these because a fun thing with the White Wing Pharaoh, which is right here. Here's a little baby example. This is a White Wing Pharaoh, and you can tell because it looks like a Pharaoh, or in this case a jumbo brown, whatever you want to call the variety, but it's got little light wingtips, so you know that those are going to feather out white, so it's going to have a little tuxedo pattern. The variety name that's commonly used for that is White Wing Pharaoh. Genotype wise, it is a jumbo brown with one copy of the dotted white gene. So you can refer it to it however you want, but that's what's genetically making up the patterning on this baby guy right here. The reason why you sometimes get these when you hatch out a White Wing variety or any kind of tuxedo variety is because this baby and the yellow ones that you see here happened to grab the White Wing gene or the dotted white gene from both parents. So they ended up with 2 copies of dotted white, which gives you that little white wing tip right here. These babies got 2 copies instead of 1, so they got like a double dose, and they're going to be white all over with a very small dot of the underlying feather pattern. So this is normal in this case. I know that some people, if they order like a tuxedo variety or they order a White Wing variety and they hatch these out, they'll think that there was a mistake on the breeder's part, but that's just a variety that does not hatch true, meaning all of the babies are not going to come out looking that way. You're going to get some that come out looking a little bit different depending on how many copies of that dotted white that baby picked up from that parent stock. So, and just a couple other things, if you're new and you are wondering, how you how you decipher your babies from each other. It's visually obvious on these guys, sometimes not so visually obvious, but here we have Pharaoh right here. This is what a Pharaoh or a jumbo brown would look like as a chick. White wing obviously would have that white wing that I showed you before, but this is like the standard default, if you get jumbo browns, what they're gonna look like. If you grab Egyptian, it's the same patterning, but you're just gonna have the red diluter on top. So color-wise, they look like the little black areas on their backs look diluted to like a brown instead of that black. And you know that that's your roux. When we get Fee in here, Fee is slightly lighter. They still have the black lines, but in between the black lines, it's slightly lighter than your Pharaoh. You're not gonna have that brown tone, that light brown tone. And this is how you're gonna see which babies are your Fee babies. In this case, Fab Fee is the variety here. It's a wild type bird with a Fee dilute, so the variety is called Fab Fee. So there's one little guy that hatched out too, which looks a little different. So I'm excited to see what he feathers out as, or she feathers out as. But side by side to the Fee, you can see there's slight differences in that baby. This one's got a lot more gold on him, and the striping is not as thick as what I would expect a Fab Fee to have. So he's got something going on, and we'll see what that is as he feathers out. So this part, I wanted to show you two examples of things that aren't going great because it's so common. And I think a lot of people maybe aren't prepared with babies that come out that have issues. So if this bothers you, you can stop the video right now. I know it's a little bit of a sensitive thing for people who are new, but I do want to show you this just for educational purposes. So this baby here hatched out fine. He fluffed up fine, but he's having a little bit of a hard time getting this foot underneath his body. So I put some paper towels down to hopefully get him some more grip. You can try to place them in like a shot glass to help get their little feet underneath themselves. But this is like an ongoing splay leg type of situation. So if I did no intervention, this baby likely would not thrive, and probably would not make it to maturity. If it did make it to maturity, it would definitely be a struggle. So in this case, we'll see how it progresses, but I don't prolong suffering in cases like this. But everybody else looks really good. It's not like you're doing something wrong. It's just, it happens, especially when you're hatching out a lot of babies. Another issue that I did want to show you real quick. Just so, again, if you see it, you know what's going on. So this little baby in here, not the one that's fluffing up in the front currently, that one just hatched, but we're looking at the yellow guy. Yellow guy is flipping around kind of funny. Can you see? He looks great. He looks healthy, he looks strong, but he's unable to stand properly, and he's throwing his head back. So I'm going to say that this is a wry neck situation, but again, I may be wrong. There might be something else neurologically going on here, but this little baby is not going to be able to eat or drink properly because it can't stand properly. It can't hold its head properly. So that could be another issue that you might see in babies once they come out. Even if they come out successful, sometimes things don't go exactly how you want them to go. But again, just sharing for educational purposes. And a baby like that, I would not let it, you know, have prolonged suffering either. No one wants to see that happening. So anyway, if you guys have questions, let me know. I wanted to show you what the first 24 hours looked like. And these babies are going to be heading into the brooder. So I hope you guys have a great day and you're having awesome hatches. Happy spring. Talk to you soon. Bye.